sustainability. We have to be able to feed ourselves and feed others, which is the essence of farming, right? We have to be able to farm year-round. So not only when the time is right, we farm, but year-round production, right? And greenhouse offers that. Why we see the need to do a training in greenhouse? A lot of farmers, you do realize climate change is getting hotter. We're in the month of May. May usually have a lot of rain, don't? Back in the days. No, we ain't getting the rain that we used to get. But here what? More people are here. More people's babies still are born, and every mouth needs to be fed. How are we going to be self-reliant, self-sufficient, and protect the environment? Another concept of farmers is greenhouse, especially if you have less land. Some people just can rent a 5 square, some can just have a 2 square. It matters, right? And everybody, and even if you have acres, not everybody can farm the acres anymore, because we're getting up in age, right? So you have to find a way to diversify your production so that you still remain relevant, right? So a part of the design of the greenhouse, it's not, you have various designs. Today we are going to look at a bamboo constructed greenhouse. For those who probably were at Denby, this was one of the features at Denby. So this tour is strategic to show the farmer that you can use what you have in your area and build the greenhouse, right? It's an economical way and it works just the same. In fact, the bamboo that you see there is better than the metal, right? It absorbs from the atmosphere the extra carbon that is there, puts it back into the soil. It's cooler because the bamboo absorbs the heat, right? The metal, say let it off, right? The concept of greenhouse is that you want to control the humidity, you want to control the temperature, and you want to control your irrigation, right? You might say, well, I'm in an area that I don't have water. You see those tanks? Don't underestimate them. You get 2,000 gallon tank, 15 minutes water cycle, so you're not going to turn it on very long, right? Your greenhouse can be as small as you want it to be or as big as you want it to be. We want to also encourage you. Let me put it in a way. In your area, there are grain-gel farmers. Do you have a lot of farmers that plant vegetable in the area? Everybody has plant vegetable, right? Where do you buy your seedlings? From the farm? I want you to don't take anything else from this. Take something that you can be the one producing the seed, or you can be the one to start the production of that greenhouse, right? A lot of greenhouse production is geared towards sometimes hotels and all of those stuff. Because if you have top quality, yes, you can sell in the market as well. But you can also offset that to the hotels, the restaurants, the coffee shops. You understand? The quality, the supermarket. You can now have your products in the supermarket. So I want you to take that away. The other thing I want you to take away from this tour is that if you have the bamboo, use the bamboo. If you have the log post, use the log post. Right? Whatever it is you have, construct the greenhouse. Now, because of I'm going to allow Mr. Elroy Williams to do a briefing as well.
Yeah, man. Morning again, team. I know that you have been out here from morning waiting to come. So I must first tell you morning and thank you for coming. Alright? So, want a little bit of exercise in the hot sun here. So I want to just put up in the air like this. One, bring it back down. Go up again. Come down, up. Alright, so that means we do a little bit of warm up and stuff. So we are not really the mother, I'm not really the presenter or anything like this. Today is a learning process for me too. One of the objectives as Miss Walters has been saying is to see how best we can now go into greenhouse production using some material that are cheap. You understand me? And accessible. Because the big pipe and them very expensive and so forth. And we now see that I work out no time soon, but money still can make. And so we'll try to figure out how to make it using the bamboo then. She made some options so that they can go do seedlings inside of it. Here I know that they are doing like hot pepper inside of it and so forth. So there's a lot of things going on here. So I just wanted to put your mind in our frame to learn. We're going to have some heat. We're going to try if we work around that, but at the end of the day, we want to know so whatever we learn here. So when we come through the extension, we start to see we are practice it and see how we can generate some income out of it. All right? Thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Morgan, good to see you.
Using the bamboo.
Yes, sir.
One of the things using bamboo, over time when the bamboo.
All right, so all of that, how to cure it and it have longevity, it have life. For a long, all right, so all of that going to, so that's a very good question, Mr. Morgan, and I know that will be answered throughout the day. So if at the end of the day, when we are supposed to go back in the bus and you know, hear that more you show me up and say, Mr. Williams, where you go? I come here and I don't see me objective me, what that good for. You understand me? So more you draw me out if that happens.
Before we come off that,
alright?
Before we come off that, the bamboo constructed greenhouse, you're not just gonna go and cut the bamboo and apply it to the greenhouse. You're gonna treat the bamboo first. So while it is growing, you identify. You're hearing? You're listening? You identify the gentleman that asked the question about the bamboo. Once you've identified the root of bamboo when you're going to use, don't cut those bamboo, you're going to treat them first. Right? So, uric acid, uric acid and borax.
Borax.
Right.
So that means to say you're going to bore the bamboo?
No, you're going to spray the root of the bamboo. Right? So especially after you have rain, so the root is wet. Now you go there clear, of course, the leaf, you remove the leaf, right? And spray the soil around the bamboo, especially around the drip circle. We're going to talk about the drip circle. Look at this tree here. The feeder root is not there. Right? It's not at the trunk. The feeder root is around the width of this tree. So that is the drip circle. So if you're going to treat this tree and you want it to go up in the roots, you wouldn't spray the fan out. Right? Right, so it's the same thing with the bamboo. You spray the root of the bamboo and leave it for minimum 2 weeks. So the bamboo will now uptake the chemical. And you have a sturdy bamboo that don't attract insect and pests. And the chemical is what? Right. Borax.
B-O-R-A-X. You go to pharmacies, I think it comes down a little white sachet. Right. Borax powder. A lot of people use it to control like Cacoon and everything there.
Uric acid. So, borax. You can't get it at
Yeah, you can get it at the pharmacy.
And that is mixed in a 1.5 to 1 ratio. So 1.5 uric acid. So if you use, say, 1.5 gallon, is 1 gallon of the borax.
One half, I want.
Yes.
Right.
That's what I mean. May I try and look if somewhere cooler?
One pack.
1 to 1.5 ratio. So if you're using 1 pack and that pack is 5 grams, right? Then the uric acid must be 1 of that.
So all of this information we're going to send to you, but at the same time some person work best with discussion and they know when they go back and read and so forth. So all of this, you understand? So we are talking and you still go and get it. But we must talk it out, alright?
So for greenhouse production, The environment must be ideal. In Jamaica now we have clocked some 33 degrees
35.
35, double digit, up high. For the greenhouse, it should not be hot. So it's 29 maximum, right? Every plant have a maximum growing temperature, right? And within the greenhouse, it should be maintained at 29. Within the greenhouse, you don't want to use plastic all around your greenhouse. That's not a greenhouse, right? It's a shade pot or antiviral mesh, right? The reason for that is carbon dioxide, which is free in the atmosphere, is what the plant will use to produce food. Percent humidity in the greenhouse. You see that something named powdery mildew? No matter what you do, put a spray from Daikin.com. Every day you get up and spray, you're not going to get rid of that. Still affect you because it is conducive to the growth of, right, and more pests as well. So, alright, the process of transpiration, the plant is pulling the water from the ground and it is lost through the leaf. But because you're now in a building where that water vapor don't readily leave the building, it is in the atmosphere. So if it is too humid in there, you're gonna have a problem. And you, right, and you can feel when it is too humid. You go in there and you're very hot and you're perspiring very much as well.
So the amount of water or the coolness is supposed to leave the house. So you're inside of a house and the cool breeze not leaving, what is it now, the hot air not leaving fast enough. You know, slowly moving. So that is where we say now the humidity high or low.
Right.
So just picture that happening inside of the greenhouse. Alright?
Another thing that the plant needs to grow is light. If you don't have light, you're not gonna have production. Sunlight is very important. And farmers at least minimum 6 hours of intense sunlight for greenhouse environment. That is what you need for the production, right? So in terms of that, also very important, irrigation. You can't overlook the irrigation because greenhouse is like a nursery. Another name is like a nursery for plants. It's like a hospital. The patient at the plant and everything is
It's like nursing a young baby.
exactly. It should be sterile and you should provide the plant with everything it needs to grow, right? From fertilizer to light to water irrigation. Now here in Jamaica we have challenges with water. So we can't use the ebb and flow system, which is we go flood the forest. Unless you live close to a river, that is fine. The misting, the overhead misting is another thing, but we prefer not to use it. Reason being, when you wet the leaf, it's more susceptible to fungal growth. So the drip irrigation is the best thing, right? And that is where you use the irrigation hose. The little black hose there, and there are emitters within the hole that directly drip at the root of the plant. That is where the water is needed, right? So within your greenhouse, you give the plant that needs the water, not the weeds. By the way, no weeds supposed to be in your greenhouse. It should be a sterile environment, weed-free, right? We are gonna send the presentation for the farmers in Grangeville and I'll post it to the rest of the group, so don't worry about it. Your crop selection in your greenhouse, obviously you're not going to plant some trees in there, right? You can, but it is not feasible to plant the trees in the greenhouse. So you have different type of crop in terms of, you have to look at the climate suitability of the crop. If you don't have the correct temperature, would you say get grapes in the greenhouse?
No.
American grape, that is.
No.
No, because it's not a tropical crop, right? Hot pepper. What about hot pepper?
Yes.
Yes. So you have to know, look at the crops and everything. If you're not living at the cool hills of Mandeville or back up that side, it don't make sense you try with the strawberries and the, right? I'm telling you straight, unless you're going to put some coolers in there, we run all the time. Trick the plant. because that is when they will produce, right? Also think about the environment, sustainability. Can you sustain the production of this crop? Is it a crop that requires a lot of water, constant water like rice? It's not sustainable within a greenhouse, right? So you have to think about all of that. So all that being said, let us look at some of the crops that are ideal for greenhouse. So we have some warm season crops. So like your tomatoes, your eggplants, your beans, your zucchini, your turnip, your squash, all of those. Beetroot, all of those. Okras, name it. You can diversify in a farmer. If you are do pepper in a year, somebody else can be doing something else, right? We also can do carrots, beets, onion, broccoli. Onion especially is another good one for the greenhouse because it is one labor intensive. You're going to be down pioneering a lot. So if you can control the environment in which it grows, you can make something out of it, right? Cabbage as well. I don't see a lot of people put cabbage in there, but you can grow the cabbage.
Miss, look here. We think if we try to bring onion in the greenhouse and then try to plant it on our soil, you think we really get it?
What you can do with the soil, you can modify the soil. That's what I'm getting at. If you have a hard pan soil, you can use some sand and get it more refined.
I want to jump in on the one here. Onion is a good crop to plant. We just go a little bit detail. What happens is that the seed of onion, they are very small. Very, very small onion, right? Come like dust. So what happens is that most persons, so to plant them in seed trays and then plant them out, to plant them out, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, right? However, it can be done. So if persons are going into greenhouse production and you're going to produce seedlings, direct, you can do it, but we recommend direct seedling, direct planting over seedling production, right? Now, if you are going to do it though, what we are saying is that inside of your unit, inside of your greenhouse, you will probably have to modify to get more space. So, for example, the shelf can probably hold, the space can probably hold about, say, 100 trays, seed trays, right? 100 seed trays. When you spin out 100 seed tray and plant it out to reap onion from it, you can't see the money. You cannot see the money, so that's why I recommend you do it directly rather than seed tray. Another thing is that maybe you can alter your greenhouse where you put steps inside of it. Vertical. So you're going to need more space. The standard is that you just have one floor space, right? But what about now? You're probably going to have to put things onto the side of it to make like racks. You understand me? And then you plant on top of them or put things on them as shelves additionally. Alright, so that's another way you can do it. And one more thing that I'm pushing towards is that remember though that your greenhouse can be converted into hydroponics and you can also use it for aquaponics too.
What do you mean by that?
Alright, so here's a little idea. So you start off with a bamboo structure. You set up a greenhouse and you're growing your tomato or your sweet pepper in it or whatever crop you choose. Right? What I'm saying now is that once you settle in and you get comfortable now, there are other things that you can now add to it. Right? And a simple one would be hydroponics. Right? So hydroponics now is that where you use plastic tubings and let water flow inside of it. And so the plants now start to grow in the water and not in the direct side. Right? Another thing is that one of the beauty about it that she mentioned is that it creates an environment. What we really want the greenhouse to do is create an environment that the plants can do very well in. Right? So once you have done that now, we are saying that boom, you can start even raise fish. You can start raise shrimp inside of it. You understand me? All you need is an additional part onto it. Whole way dig a pond or you just get some plastics and put your fish and thing and going. So you have your greenhouse, you have your fish farm going on, you have your crayfish farm going on. You understand me? So it depends on how you look at it. Right? So, but the first step we always encourage you to start from is to start from the greenhouse. And the best way, the cheapest way, is through bamboo. Alright? Hope you got it?
For the greenhouse, most people, if you're doing seedling production, you know you're going to use the trays, right? However, if you're going to do direct planting, you can either use the soil that is there in the greenhouse, or you can use planter box or planter furrows, right? So you have different media that you can use. As I said, I don't know the soil type that you have in Grange Hill. Clay is not ideal for greenhouse. If you have clay, you can modify the clay. You can add a little organic matter to the clay. You can add sand to the clay, and that now creates the aeration that the soil will need. The organic matter creates that drainage and also the nutrient retention that is needed, because you don't want, and it must not be too sandy. What happens when water passes through sand? Run right through and they leave it dry, right? The best soil to do greenhouse production in, if you're using the soil, is low. That dark, pretty black soil, yes. But no matter where you are, farmers, you can improve the quality of your soil by adding organic matter. And if you do that over time, you would be surprised. You see how some farmers farm one place and then they say soil barren. And a barren, if barren is kind of bear nothing, but you can build back the soil. You ever hear say, no, as a leaf go bottom it rotten? That is what happens in a lot of cases. Farmers keep planting the same crop or even different crop and keep extracting the nutrient from the soil without putting it back. So after a while, the soil becomes dead. That same organic matter. You see behind your kitchen where you throw all of the peeling skin, you wonder how the banana root they grow so nice. And you know if you fertilize here, the pepper will round they grow so nice, and years they have picked pepper off of the one tree. It's because of the organic matter. The peeling skin and everything where you throw that root break down and it goes right back to the soil. Right?
Even when you weed the place, you don't burn all the time. The same thing can dry and become fertilizer.
A philosophy, when I was going to college, there was this philosophy that says the closest thing to the ideal nutrient requirement is one of self. That means if I want a balanced nutrition, ideally piece of you would be my ideal, because yourself have everything I need to grow. It's the same concept for the plant. When that plant dies and breaks back down, it releases all the nutrient that another plant needs to grow. So you see that fertilizer that we are buying every minute, thing saying you're giving the plant what it needs is synthetic. Right? It's not. Over time, it damages the soil. The same plant and the spray as well. The same plant material. A lot of farmers plant cabbage. Any cabbage farmer here? And when you cut out the cabbage, you still left one piece there with a nice pretty leaf brownie and everything. And then you take a piece of feed, probably you just throw it one side. You see, if you build a compost heap and allow that to break down, within 6 months, when you replanting your cabbage, you're transplanting, just take a handful and drop it on the board and transplant it by the board. And you see the difference. You don't need the fertilizer and it carries you through the drought. I went to Hanover Agriculture School and we've never had, on my 3 years there, we've never gotten a handful of fertilizer. And we have to plant everything where we eat. We've never gotten a handful of fertilizer. Organic matter, anywhere, everywhere around the college, the compound is a heap. So when we're ready to plant, we go with a little bucket and we dig. You understand? And when we transplant it, we drop it in the hole and put the pepper or whatever we do in it.
Excuse me, what I did at home, I have a big container and I get some grass, dry grass, put little at the bottom,
yes.
And I get some dirt, and then everything that I eat, I put it in that container. And whenever time I'm going to plant anything, I get the soil.
Take out here, yes. Yes, sir. Composting, right. Very, very good. Composting. If you're going into greenhouse production, you can't just go set up a greenhouse in any direction. Reason being, the sun rises in there and it sets in there. So follow me hand. Me might not say east and west, but follow me hand. From this direction to that direction. Now, if you set the greenhouse like this, what is going to happen? The sun go too hot on one side, then it now go get the sun on the other side, and then the evening sun. You understand? You see the difference? Now you have to orientate it to where the sun falls. Make it follow the sun. So that means to say for the, remember plants need at least 6 hours of intense, uninterrupted sunlight.
Especially the morning sun.
So when you plant, when you orientate your greenhouse, set it east to west, no matter where you are. Set it east to west, so when the sun gets up, it'll get it. When you go overhead, it's getting it. And when it's going down, still getting it. Right? We clear?
Yes.
Alright, ventilation for your greenhouse. Very important. We talk about the airflow in the greenhouse. So you have to build your greenhouse. We know that hot air rise, right? Hot air rise. Now if we hot air rise from the plastic, they will happen. You go stay up there. You see that level, that mesh right there? At that side right there? That is not plastic. The side that is, so the roof, hip, and that straight up side, that is not plastic on that side. That is mesh. Right? So the hot air that rise can come out. Right, it's a ventilation, right? So you have to, when you're constructing your greenhouse, I know chicken could be a make it with something like that, so that the air will rise, come out. If you're going over 300 feet in length, because the greenhouse can be very big, you know. Don't look at that size. Can long as you want it. You understand? If you have a land, or 1 acre, 1 greenhouse. Any of you pass by Rambo?
Yeah.
You see those greenhouses? That's over an acre. Where's a greenhouse? Over here. Right? And you see the design. If they are producing those greenhouses, they have to have fans. So them have some extractor fan and some fan in the middle of the greenhouse. So it pulls the cool air and it pushes out the hot air to the other end. Right? So you have to think about ventilation. This one is the natural one. I don't think we have any extractor fan in it. I think they are using the area around. It's not that hot here. Right? We're in the hills and it's very cool, so they use that so it gets rid of some of the hot air. Right? But you have to think about that for your greenhouse.
And in this area, you know, Mama, when I think this area is a cool area,
Right.
So you have a lot of time when the space here is supposed to be cold. Because it's a hilly area, right?
Yeah, man. The terrain is high now. Something me factor. But and from the persons in a Darlistan, it might work out handy for them.
Yeah.
But here how it work out in a Granger now, and this is why I want the Gladic maybe farmer. Is that one, we have access to bamboo.
Yeah.
We have access to a lot of bamboo. And then now, if we know that a high, if we are work with height, so with this one that can jump in.
Yeah, no problem.
Right, so what happens is that since we know that hot air rise, cool, all we have to do is make the greenhouse taller. You understand me? So it does and here so now them going to show you now how you can connect the bamboo them together using screws and all of that or something then. Yeah man, so we are use of the height and thing. So when you go over here, so you're going to see how you're going to see the whole engineering part of it. And one of the things we want you to understand is that each one of you, not because you're a female or you're a young person or something, or something simple where you can do for yourself. You can turn on your yard, sit down and use your own brain, your own creative genius, as Marcus Garvey said, and make it. Cool? So that's what the really thing at the end of the day. So for Granger, the height of, so we just want to use more bamboo. You understand me? We talk about the soil too. They say that the soil is, our soil is kind of clay loam. Cool? So it's slightly more tighter, especially when the rain falls, right? But once we establish the greenhouse and build drainage around it and things, when the rainfall come on and so forth, where the greenhouse is, that won't affect us to any large extent because we protect that area, right? Another thing to we would emphasize is that with greenhouse production, yes, if you have an acre of land and you have farmed the acre of land, the amount of money we are making on the acre land, the greenhouse with the little space we make it probably twice as much as what is 3 times as much as we are making on the acre land. So this now what we are saying, you know, intensive farming. Precision agriculture we are dealing with now. So if you did make $10 for your big old piece of land, when you start take up the farming, you're serious. You look at $30. You understand me? So you move away from $10 to $30 half of your income. So now one little play thing are going on. A serious business are going on. How much you take we are the bamboo one or the steel one? The bamboo one. All the plastic that cost, the only thing that take are this, where you do right now, sweat. That's all that take you can't turn up
And it depends on how big you want it.
Can be 10 by 10.
The plastic them you have to buy probably go on
The bigger it is, I'm more fast.
you invest that the money there and for the rest of your life you need the money. Huh?
They sell it by the reel. So Isratech is where you will get the plastic and the next part. Farmers, we talk about the size of the greenhouse. If it is that you can build a 10 by 10, build a 10 by 10. If you can build the 300 by the 100, go at it, right? But if you can start with a 10 by 10 and do your seedling.
So the lady said, put your money where your mouth, where you put your money where something like that, you know what I mean?
Start where you're comfortable, because it's a learning process.
Expert.
And then you get bigger at it. You can start with one. Can you imagine one 200 cell tray at $30 per one, at $6,000, right? And if you are going to that 200 cell tray, that's a 200 plant.
So 200 times 30. So yeah, if you are selling
Small
one,
amount.
yeah.
For you go every month to buy to buy from somebody, but you can do it yourself. And when you do a good job at it, other farmers can come and support you by frying. Me live in Montego Bay, and there are times when my farmers can't get the seedlings, because we do seedlings at the office. There is a gentleman in Montego Bay where we drop all the seedlings and take care of the seedling. He has a greenhouse. That is what he does seedling in the greenhouse. And himself, he live in Marotown and he must sell farmers in West Orland. You understand? Exactly. So you see the importance of, if you, especially you're in a farming community, you can capitalize on that. As I said, not everybody have carried the plant from seedling up to the vegetative, the productive stage. If you want to do the seedling production, it's an avenue for you, and you sell it. Social media is so important in any aspect of sales. Once you put it out there, I put on your WhatsApp profile, persons are going to call and ask you about it, right? So you have to make, nobody say, boy, I'm a whole, make the phone, everybody have a smartphone that it work with you, right? Another thing, yes sir?
Even the bamboo, you know, the bamboo itself, you can use it as seedling trays, you know.
Yes!
Bamboo itself.
The bamboo itself, you little plastic cup them where everybody has to put right? You can use what, again, you can use what you have, start where you are. Just if you're going to use the soil, don't just pick up a handful of dirt and pass through it, right? You need the soil to be friable. Air must pass through, right? Drainage, good drainage, and at the same time, water retention. They need all of that, right?
Alright, so we are tag team. So there's something else that I realized persons probably wasn't looking at, and if you're looking at it, when you put up your hand when we make mention of it. No. We said that we're going to do something regarding to bamboo, right? And what I want persons to realize is that getting the knowledge here, so how to take care of the bamboo, is a spin-off, not only just for the greenhouse, because you don't necessarily have to go in a greenhouse. You might have a goat farmer, you know, where say rotted, you know, say, I want to build a goat pen, and the goat pen, I can't build how I want to build because of finance, but you want to know, bamboo they right in the back of him yard. But because him don't know how to take care of the bamboo, how to treat the bamboo and thing, him not willing. If he goes to boom and cut it down and spring it up and boom, in no time him have a nice little bamboo goat house or goat pen in him yard. So I don't know how much person did that think the way there. So the knowledge that we all learn and adjust to the greenhouse thing. Okay, that's something you can use to help your livestock. Yes, Mr. Dixon.
You got man in 82 and my father built one big rabbit. Yeah, my father built one big rabbit coop. And the bamboo we use as a roofing.
As a roofing?
That a way back at 82.
82.
Bamboo.
You're not telling me age.
Okay.
Alright.
Question.
That long?
Question.
Yes.
I'm supposed to have a large bamboo. How do you treat that large? Because I mean it consists of, and you know they are close. So how do you treat that entire thing? Can you do the same thing? You go all the way around it and treat the whole entire
You
thing?
go all the way around it and chew it and everything and the way I do
And so you treat the entire bamboo
right.
thing then?
Because remember now, you know, if I only treat
Alright, come to me please, come along. You're gonna come, we have to move fast. Alright,
We done already.
welcome one and all. We have Cacoon Castle. Some of you might have never been here before, but it's a farming community in Hanover that we have launched a very important program on bamboo, because Hanover have a lot of bamboos, you know, and we have to utilize it, help farmers to see how they can utilize what they have instead of buy what them not have and spend one whole heap of money to things that them not even end up use. You understand? So, as in regards to bamboo greenhouses, a pilot program from Woods Caribbean, World University Services of Canada, Sustainable Agriculture in the Caribbean. Right? So, one of our key objectives is to promote climate smart agriculture. So, bamboo greenhouse fall under climate smart agriculture. Economically feasible for any minimum farmer to invest in. Right? Alright, the reason why we choose bamboo is to find cheaper source of material to actually build a greenhouse while protecting the environment. The reason why we have to protect the environment because the reason why we have to
oh, my team's so active.
for me, please. You go get the information. Just hold on. Just hold on for me, please. You go get the information. Don't worry yourself. You go get the information. So, alright. Reason for utilizing bamboo build greenhouse. As I say, it's a cheaper building material. But how we actually arrive at it is through experimentation, through treatments that can get rid of the powder borer and the shot put borer that feeds on dry wood. Right? Remember when you cut the bamboo in there, it go phase out over. If you even use it for yam stick, you can't use it a second year. Right? Because these treated bamboos can also be used as yam stick too as well. That can last up to 5 years. We don't have to put any extra precautionary measure in place for them to stand up to the infestation of the pests, right, and the climate, Right? So, anybody know the main purpose of a bamboo greenhouse? Can tell me? What is the purpose of a greenhouse? What is the purpose of a greenhouse?
That you can be able to produce right round through regardless of the climate.
Regardless of the climate and so forth.
Can produce, yeah.
Good. So you answer some part of the question correct.
Yep.
And you go
Bottom
up
line
next
is that you have a controlled environment.
So it is a
Controlled
controlled
environment, yes.
environment. So a bamboo greenhouse structure is a controlled environment in which you actually mimic to grow crops. So but with a greenhouse you don't have to have any soil in it, you know. You can just use potted soil or use kaya dust, whatever you want to use.
But excuse me, what was the question? What is a bamboo greenhouse and
No,
what is the purpose?
of a greenhouse? Alright, so go tell you what is a greenhouse from what we have here. Right? These fully enclosed structure, which is a greenhouse, right, are made from transparent material, glass or plastic. Mostly in Jamaica we use plastic. We don't see much glass houses. Mine is just one out of the millions of plastic frame one that we see. Right? To retain and regulate the internal temperature, moisture levels to grow plants. So in a greenhouse structure, it is a microclimate environment. Some people are of the fact that because it is a greenhouse, it should be hot. Unless you're building it for a drying purpose, it should be hot. Right? So with the techniques that we feature here and our bamboo greenhouse structure, we are going to carry through the specifics of how to actually construct a greenhouse with whatever expenditure you might need along with the bamboo at the most minimum cost. Right? So the one that we have around the back there is a 30 by 50. With all the installation it comes up to 900,000. But for the greenhouse alone, if you can find a carpenter, a trainable carpenter that can follow instructions, we can help you achieve that with at least 250,000. Yeah? For that one around. Right? But we have had some sophisticated things to it that farmers can actually, because you can build a greenhouse now and don't have any water. If you don't have any water, you don't have a greenhouse. Because you're going to have to bring water to it at a higher expense. So with this structure that we have here, it is so sustainable that it can maintain itself up to between 5 and 10 years. Sustain itself through the production, whatever crop you put in it. Because some people build greenhouse to make them idle. I don't believe in that, you know. Once you build a greenhouse, from even before you even finish the construction, one crop, by the time you do the house, one crop should post to come out of the house. We have some people them so picky, and they say, boy, I make sure say everything right. I personally, test it at every level. Without the plastic, with the plastic on it. Eh?
That's why you
That's
your expert in what you do.
If you calculate right? Alright, you put it on the plastic. Alright, you can see some pictures here. They don't have on any plastic, any antiviral mesh on the side. But they have on the top. You still can get a production out of that, you know. So say for example, you start building house and you could have only afford the plastic to put on the top. You are going to wait, you are going to make some money now. Wait and go do some outdoor farming until you can put on the antiviral mesh before you put a crop in here. No.
Oh, so Mr. Linton, it's like I live in a rent house. I have a house I build.
Right.
I just do one room. I'm afraid to go in my one room and still
You get what I say?
So I go on, man.
So you know
They move out.
I'm going to tell one of my brethren that was well. He might house and him never get to tile. He put in all the electrical and something and him still a pay 150,000 a month. And I say, if you do what? I say, just buy one roll of linen on your man spread it out. I live in there.
I live in that till this time.
And me save him much month I rent for 1 year and him say, boy, me never dare look on life so simple, you know.
Look at that.
He say, oh, they don't move a house. So, as me tell you, it is important that we operate on a economic level. Economic level means a minimum level that you can spend to make food. You understand? So if you even got a rooftop where idle, like some people do the deck top house, you can do a greenhouse up there too. You can do a greenhouse up there. Frame it out and do it how you want to do it. But some people them don't want to look like them too much a starve and boy them much pride. Them are the less fortunate and but as me say people, Chinese man come here, the English come here, Indian, they have nothing. For me, $1 happen with them every day. Remember you know, every 6 months me say no, every day or every minute of the hour they make $1. So if we adapt the same concept, so in the entire construction of the house, the Cacoon Castle Farmers Group, they were tuned into it. We train every member of the group, they know what all the different sections are all about. You know? So with this greenhouse, the added material that we use is might be about a 1% of lumber. Just to get some straight edge so we can put on some of the fixtures on it properly. Right? And we use the UV plastic antiviral mesh, the nuts and bolts, not nuts and bolts, nuts and threaded rod. We buy a threaded rod because it's much feasible to buy a length of threaded rod as opposed to buy nuts and bolts that might not fit. And you might have to end up here with them and to weld them together now. So we buy the threaded rod so whatever length you want, you can always cut it to that length and bolt it up with the 14 nuts and broad washer. Right? And what else? For the treatment of the bamboos, we use borax. That's what I'm just telling you. We have to do a field there and we just do that treatment process so everybody understands.
Right? If you can keep it closer because some of my farmers them, you know.
No, so like how you come from your extension
and
here,
green
you can come at your extension here and do it.
I will do it in a green jail.
Right, not a ground.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome in there.
The reason why we have to bring everybody here for this house is that it is the only one in the western parishes. Right? And I'm the officer who work for West Caribbean in the western parishes. So these group members were willing to give up the access to the land so we can build this house for as a model so that new farmers can benefit from the innovations and how we can adapt to climate change by using bamboo greenhouse.
Excellent.
You understand? So alright, we're going to move now to the section where we look at the greenhouse. But just before you reach that point, I'm going to show you something. So for example, you're farming on a hillside, it is important for you now to have a contour canal. Creeping water. So this contour canal is built on a specific level that the water actually walks instead of runs. Right? And we achieve this goal by using this little device that is called an A-frame. It doesn't have to be this long, but once you have a straight edge with all three sides having the same length and you put a level, or you can use a string from the center to mark a level, you can achieve a leveling device that can help you create a contour canal. Right? So from the length of this is 13 feet long, right? Which is 13 feet long, right? So from all the corners, if you see where the canal have different corners. So from this corner to this corner, we come at a level, right? So we put a stake right there and put a next one right here. And even when planting your crops, if you do something like this, you can capture and utilize all the moisture in your field, as opposed to just digging the holes, scatter them all about, then water wash with some of them. If you plant the crop in this particular pattern by using the level, you can create a seepage process for the water instead of it running all over the place. And you have to cut drain. So in every drain you should have creeping water as opposed to running water. This canal was built to capture the water coming from all the way to the front of the building to the back of the building. Right? And we could actually turn it into the pond as opposed to letting it run off at the side. So if you're at a location where you don't have water all around here and you want to dig a pond, know that you have an initiative now to rather that you can get a pond. Once you dig a pond and you measure it up properly, or you can get somebody to come and measure it if you cannot do it. I think there is some funding towards that now that you can benefit from as a farmer. Because there's no production without water. If you're even raising one cow, you need water. Yeah. So this is an A-frame. A-frame.
They usually call it one, sir. Plumber.
They call it a plumber. Right. All the people them have the name one. But we say it's an A-frame.
The plumber is normally when you have the little line one here, you go specific. All of them need the same standard. So these are something where we can design. If any farmer have interest in it, you can talk to me. I will tell you how to do it. Alright? Say that we for Mr. Linton because you asked me.
Alright, so everybody come this side for me, please. You can just take picture and know the purpose of the picture. Come out this side for me, please. No, come this side first. Come this side first. Now jump the gun. Alright, so this is the greenhouse, right? A 30 by 50 structure. Right? There's a lot of key designs that you all have to understand from just. And bear in mind, people, you can ask me any question. Right? So it's a 30 by 50 structure. 90% of the house is bamboo. The use of bamboo. I would have said 95% of the house is bamboo. Bamboo is used to construct it. The other 5% have to include the antiviral method, plastic, nut and bolt, and the 1% of lumber board that you might use. Right. Alright.
And washer.
And washer. Right. So, with this house now, it's just, you ever see how them build church? Build church is same way. Just one difference here. Or any house, any wood house. Same amount of rafters, same distance between the rafters, eaves, everything. Same way you might go to it, same thing. Because you want to ensure that you have the right amount of reinforcement to ensure that your house can last up to 5 years. You can build it, you know, and do what you feel like do it, you know, without no proper measurement, you know. You get maybe 2 years out there, and you say, oh, Mr. Linton say it can last up to 5 years and it was packed on already. Because I didn't work with it in specific. Understand?
Yes, man. Right now. I'll partake with it.
So the only difference with this house from a regular house is the fact that it has a double entry door for biosecurity measures. This double entry door system is to help keep out pests and to carry out some sanitation measures before you enter into the actual greenhouse. Right? So this is just a, I would say 8 by 10 double entry door. It can be so much wider for storage. Say for example, you're harvesting and you don't want to come outside one time with everything. You can always store them inside. You can store your crates and then stuff inside. So you can just come here, so grab a crate instead of go outside in the butchery or wherever you want to go. Pick up one crate, you know? So alright, here's a opening at the top of the house. It is called a vent space area, right? The minimum height of the vent should be at least 4 feet. In Jamaica, they are currently importing a lot of structures that are not adaptable to our climatic conditions. Right? You normally see most of them have a 2 feet vent up here, or some have a double vent. But our design approach is the sawtooth effect of greenhouse, and it is the most adaptable one in the Western Hemisphere, as opposed to the other one, because they take a lot more material to frame them out and get them designed. So to be economical in the construction, this one I say is the best one. Right? If you realize the vent set this direction as opposed to the other direction. The purpose of the vent is to get rid of the hot air out of the house. Right? In a particular direction. So when we were actually building this house, the strongest breeze come from the northern side, as opposed to the southern side going over. So because we want to create because hot air rise, we want to create a venturi pull. So the cool air blow across the top, it pulls the hot air out of the house.
Quick question, sir.
Yes.
Suppose we build it into apex side.
But this is what?
Apex. You have to just ensure that the vent, you have the apex design different from this. Yes. But you have to ensure that on the apex side now, you have one side with 2 feet, one side with 2 feet. But that 2 feet space will go up to 4 feet with it, as opposed to the 2 feet. Because some people say, alright, 2 on that side plus 2 on this side, it add up. I don't see where it add up, because when you're going to those houses, it's very hot. And you have to use a lot more water than usual to cool the plants in the house. And to cool it, some houses like that, they have in the misting system. But as I say, I'm working at the most economical level. The cheapest level to achieve the same.
So, Mr. Linton, where you say now, I don't know if no other farmer get the energy there, but when you talk, I realize that I don't just put up a structure so.
No.
I have to look for where the wind blow,
right,
how the water run, and all of them things there, because once I set up the structure, all of those other factors are going to start to affect it. So I have to sit down and look and see all of these things. Okay. Okay.
So
good point.
Yeah. I know you're going further to make them soon reach that point. Alright. So alright. On the side of the house we have a gutter system leading to the storage tanks and the pans. But how we achieve that is that we do a 6 inches drop from the first post here to the last post. So we run a car from this post with the 6 inches and drop it on the last post down there and cut every one of the main posts in pan level. So the water creep to the back of the house. So you can, say for example, you got your pan here, you can design your house or redesign your house so that the water comes to the front instead of go to the back. You get me?
Yeah.
So it is always important now, because within your construction, after you do your construction and thing, you say, boy, something wrong. And that wrong band that you have here can cost you about $130,000 to carry. So you have to ensure when you start at every stage, don't feel shy with your business, because you might end up spending more to achieve the goal we are trying to achieve. Right? So round the side here, so just come over.
Okay.
Mission in helping persons to understand the business of farming, you have to have water, and there is no limit to the amount. But the basic amount for this house to keep it going a month without any rainfall is the 8 to 6,000 gallons of water that we have here.
Incredible. This is just excellent.
You understand? So this water is not just for idling. Now you can put fish in it so that they can fertilize the fish part of the farm, utilize the nutrients from the fish waste too as well. And you can still go ahead and harvest those fish fast.
Kind of like it all.
So the pond is built at a specific and the specs of just 4 feet deep, 26 feet wide and 36 feet long. Right? You can help you calculate your pond if you wish to calculate how much gallon in it. Right, and depth. So length by depth by some specific numbers to get you the amount of gallons. I think as 0.72 to get you the gallons.
You can always go look it up.
You can always go look it up. Never buy it full, you know.
Hold on, excuse me.
So, right.
7 ton. What if you wanted to gravity feed? You wouldn't bury the tanks.
You wouldn't bury the tanks.
Okay, that's what
You can gravity feed too as well. That is our next measure.
Okay.
But due to the fact that we implement the solar system, the solar powered pump, that it works independent by itself, along with the timer, we don't have to put it on a gravity feed system. Because that system alone costs roughly about, the batteries are the most expensive. I think about 50,000 can get the 2 batteries. 2 of the solar batteries, and with the pump, might be about 150 US. And the timer might be about 6,000. So roughly about 160,000. And the panel. So roughly about 200,000. And you have a lifelong system where can last up to 10 years.
You know the farmer make it work.
The gravity feed tank now, what you can do, you can always push around it to keep it cool. Cover the top with some we can prevent from going, the debris from going inside, and just pack limbs and bush, straw over it, so you keep it cool.
You can even use reflector like something with color code, something with white panel or whatever. When you put it, you reflect the light off rather than absorbing it.
Yeah. So now that the rain come, we are going inside that.
Because you have to think about that when you think about the gravity feed.
We'll get that the mesh. It's not just a mesh, it's an antiviral
gravity
mesh.
with hydroponics too.
Alright, come along, let me go inside the house now.
Yeah. We need to have a decent structure and
Look at that sharpness.
Alright, come along, folks. Inside here is warm, not hot.
Long drive, we take out everything out and we mean so we go out.
Alright, come inside for me now. So alright, we are inside the greenhouse. How does it, what's the temperature like? No, this is very much cool. You don't want to go in one of those metal frame houses. Else you will actually catch a fire then. So this is just a microclimate. This is just a microclimate. If you farm in the hills, you'll have some water temperature like this during the hottest point of the day. As opposed to farming on the flat, you will have more heat. You understand? So this is why we have to use the technology of greenhouse now to mimic the hilltops in production. A lot of people don't know that. But greenhouse is just to mimic the hilltop. So Scotty, you're up in a shaft and a content area out there, so you can plant anything and it grow. But who down a Petersfield, Grangeville, certain crops them can't grow so easy. Because it's too hot.
Too hot, man. Irish potato are one of them. We'll never see growing in that.
Never see it grow.
You'll never see Irish potato growing in that.
You understand?
You will see start, but not beer.
Nah, beer, because it's too hot. Too hot. Me have an innovation to help the plants and adapt still.
Welcome, man.
That's the next level.
Alright. Where we living?
No. So alright, on the top we have the UV plastic. The reason why you feel this heated temperature is because of the UV plastic. Right? It is a specially graded plastic for mimicking the sunlight to trap in the rays from the sunlight to inside the house. But the way that we go about cooling the house now is not through the sides. It's not through the sides. The side is just to prevent insects from coming. It's through the vent. So the breeze normally blow from that side goes up. You get me? So through the vent now.
So why we coming put
That is where the hot air escape out of the house.
So why we couldn't put vents on the side?
You can, you know. But I don't see where it's feasible if you got a functional vent. You understand? Remember me said to you now, me I work at the most minimum cost.
Or more expensive to put the vent in.
Right, so if you go put the vent on the side, you go have to put in extra posts. You have to go buy extra amount of wiggle wire and locking profile now to go around that vent space to create a window there. But say for example you have an existing house and you didn't build that vent to the specific as it's supposed to be the minimum 4 to 6 feet tall. Right? You can then install in vents on the side or put in an extractor fan. Right? And if you're gonna install the extractor fan, you have to install it on the opposite side of the house where the breeze are pushed to. So you still create that venturi effect. Because if you put it on this side, you're going to burn up your fan. Because it are going to push the hot air, are going to make cold air out there. And the fan are going to fight, get the air out of the house. You understand? And if you do your house even like this now, you build your house now, you can just got one part of your house now that you have even an AC in, and you create that cooling effect to the entire house now just by putting them at the right location that they should actually go. You understand? But for the side, we have the antiviral mesh. Why we say antiviral mesh? What is the purpose of an antiviral mesh? Keep out insect, just any insect, any specific insect.
Alright, you breeding.
Bees and so. Bees are insect. Alright, so this grade of antiviral mesh is to keep out all types of insect except and even up to it's an antiviral, so all fungus too. Because fungus is a spore that comes through. Right? So it is a specially graded antiviral mesh that you can get at Isratech Jamaica. Some people see at National Supplies. But I recommend, I'm gonna send all of that information. So don't worry yourself. All of you go get that information. I have a document prepared with all the material lists and specifics to build in the house. So as I said, Miss Walters, Mr. Williams, go create a WhatsApp group that we can push that information in so farmers can benefit from it because they won't get everything today. Right. I might be too excited. So alright, and before I go any further, anybody have no question? Anybody see anything that they want to ask for?
How old the house is? This house right here.
This house is 1 month and 1 year 6 months.
1 year.
1 year 6 months. Initially, when we started this house, you see, and the photo that and the banner that I got out there, we had in hot peppers in it. And this house can hold up to 247 plants of hot pepper, and the beds you have some beds that hold 2 rows, and these one in the middle have 1. But we had to help the farmers understand that despite the fact that you're building a house, it should be able to offset some of the costs. Right? So we test run hot peppers in here, Scotch bonnet peppers, copper and salsa. Yeah, as zigzag way. So, as I was saying, we have to show them how they can make money from the house. So we planted hot peppers because hot pepper is a part of our market system, and it is a very lucrative crop if you have the patience and time to deal with it as how it is specified. So most of this area is a hot pepper area from back in India up. They used to supply Grace and pick pepper, all of the pepper manufacturers, processing plants. Right. So we put hot peppers in here, and every week they could reap a maximum of at least 200 pounds of pepper. Right? And that created a revenue for the farmers group to be functional. And as part of that too as well, we had an initiative where we do a plant out system with the farmers from learning how to take care of the crops from here. You know, so that they can boost their production and things. And even up to now, they have a system where they're working with selling peppers to various suppliers, various buyers in and around Hanover. Just by learning the correct techniques as to how to grow peppers. Not just in the greenhouse, but on the outskirts. Right? So with this control system, for the month, they could pick, I would have say estimated about 1,000 pounds of pepper. But I just years alone. And it wasn't a system where we had any high levels of investment in fertilizer and pesticide. I think the only fertilizer that we use in here with the program that we wrote through Caribbean Chemicals is just foliar application for the fertilizer and the insecticide. We didn't use any granular or any dissolvable nutrients for the root zone. Just foliar application. And you had peppers up to this level. You had peppers up to this level, and you couldn't go through the roots. You have to bounce through the roots.
So you don't have any
Well, in every crop, if you got more than one person coming into a particular crop, you go have some amount of pest. Because not everybody who you bring to your farm will actually take out a clean suit of clothes and come to your farm. You might come from an next farm to your farm.
So tell me something, how long the crop last for?
The crop lasts for up to, I think about 9 months.
Oh. Sweet pepper or hot pepper?
There was some slack off. I wasn't around, and there was some slack off with the pest management program. And when they come back here, mites take over, mites and trips. So we had to just condemn the crop. You understand? Not the first bearing, for seeds. No? Why do you think that? Probably with sweet pepper. But even though, you know, if you pick up one fruit and call it a lot, so after you pick pepper, you prune the tree. I believe so. Because if you say, alright, you work on a feasible level where you want to make money, right? It don't make no sense to dash your money while you are trying to make money. That's why I say when this was frame out, we had in the peppers. By the time the mesh go on, we had peppers into production. You understand? So at every level you are making money. Straight to the reach your target. Alright, so the purpose of the painted bamboos is to attract different kind of pests. You have the blue for the mites and the trips. You have the orange for the grasshoppers and the cutters. And you have the yellow for the white flies. And I think aphids. Right. So with this coloration, all you have to do is to use grease. Grease them and it will then attract the pests to them. And the grease trap the pests. You understand? So in a greenhouse structure, you can, as me say, it's a controlled environment, you know. So no pests not supposed to manage you in here, so.
And I really love that concept because you have some pests that are nocturnal, they act in the night.
Night.
So the ones for the blue, that is going to attract those nocturnal insects.
Right.
The yellow, mostly the day. And
So,
the orange.
Right.
So, when you say the blue one, truck, the
Chop.
truck,
Attract.
so what him do, he can eat the bamboo or...
No, I know you make trouble though. You want to make trouble, you know. We want to check all of the bamboo them in to ensure that no boar no there in them, you know.
So what happened when it like if it's come inside in pitch and the blue one?
Yes.
Insects sees light, spectrum, different rays. It attracts. That is what they see.
Okay.
Just like how we know if you're not going to come on with the red shirt, because the cow going to come at you. Right?
And that's a lie too.
No, me prove it true. I prove it.
I've done research on it. I'm going to take it. Some people say it's true, but it's just a reflection.
Right, what I'm saying.
Because they're not strangers, so internet
Alright, let me hear what Miss Walter's saying. Alright.
and then how they see nobody come down there.
Alright, we're one. What I'm saying, the insect, they see, they're attracted to certain light spectrum, right? So in the night, the blue to them is like a halo. They will go towards it. They will recognize it, right? So it's like a zoning for them. It's like a calling. So you put the grease pan here and they won't go straight pan, they go stick. And stick.
You control everything. You control everything.
Right. Even in your field, you can do it, you know, you can make these sticky traps in your field. Again, the yellow for the day insect and the blue for the night. So anything blue, you can even provide. The orange attract both, but mostly day insect. The blue kind of have a different glow in the night.
So like me who plant sweet potato now. So if we jam up this bamboo inside the potato field and spray it in, put on the blue on it and the yellow, so the insect will...
It don't have to be bamboo.
Well,
You can get up even say cartridge paper, size paper, right? And you laminate that, right? Or even regular size paper.
Aisle jug where yellow.
And you laminate it, or an aisle jug, or whatever it is.
But you have to put grease pan it.
Put the grease pan it, so when the insect pitch in can.
And stick on pan it.
Yes.
So the grease says a trap, you know, so you go